1983, Chevy Chase, Maryland. Augusto Odone and his wife, Michaela, have recently moved to this leafy suburb. Their young son, Lorenzo, has just started kindergarten.
Lorenzo was a very precocious child, and he was the apple of his parents' eyes.
One day, Lorenzo is riding his bicycle when suddenly he takes a tumble. Augusto thinks little of the incident. But as he walks his son home, it becomes clear that something is wrong.
Lorenzo seemed to be losing his balance. Augusto had to help him walk.
Soon, the typically bright and articulate child begins to slur his speech.
He was behaving in these very strange ways. Augusto and Michaela were very concerned.
Desperate for answers, the Odones take Lorenzo to a neurologist for evaluation.
They got the diagnosis, which was adrenoleukodystrophy, or ALD, a severe neurological disorder.
ALD is a rare genetic mutation that primarily affects boys. It triggers excess production of fatty acids in the bloodstream, which in turn ravages the central nervous system. There's no known treatment.
Boys who got the disease lost the ability to hear, to speak, and to see, and eventually died.
The physician believes Lorenzo only has 2 years to live.
It's hard to imagine getting any worse news than they received that day.
The devastated parents refuse to give up. Convinced there must be some way to combat the disease, they begin poring over medical research.
The Odones felt they were under the gun here. Their son was getting worse and worse, and they were trying desperately to find something that could help him.
But soon, Lorenzo's body begins to break down. He is confined to a bed and receives nourishment through a feeding tube. Can these desperate parents beat the odds and save their son? It's 1984 in Chevy Chase, Maryland. Augusto and Michaela Odone's charmed existence is shattered when their 5-year-old son, Lorenzo, is diagnosed with a rare and deadly neurological disease. Now, with no known cure or treatment, the couple has taken the matters into their own hands. So, can they help their son before it's too late? Desperate to halt the deadly march of the disease, Michaela flips through an obscure European medical journal. One article catches her attention. It states that the fatty acid levels in the bloodstream can be reduced by ingesting a substance called oleic acid.
Oleic acid is the main ingredient in olive oil.
So the Odones give Lorenzo a highly refined olive oil through his feeding tube, and the initial results are promising.
The high levels of fatty acids in the blood went down by about a half.
But the fatty acid levels are not low enough to impact the disease's relentless war on Lorenzo's body.
This is where Augusto had an epiphany.
What if oleic acid is not the only substance that can reduce the amount of fatty acids in the bloodstream?
He realized that if they found a second oil that they could add to the oleic acid, they could potentially lower the fatty acid levels to normal.
Then, Augusto learns of a substance that may be effective, erucic acid. The compound can be found in canola oil, which is derived from the rapeseed plant, a specimen of which is on display at the San Diego Natural History Museum. But there's a problem. In high concentrations, erucic acid can be deadly.
It was known that erucic acid caused heart damage in laboratory rats.
But the Odones have nothing to lose. They feed Lorenzo an oil mixture containing 4 parts erucic acid and 1 part oleic acid.
Finally, after a few weeks, it's time to measure Lorenzo's blood levels. And what they find is remarkable. His fatty acid levels are normal.
Over time, Lorenzo's symptoms gradually recede. Though it is not a cure, the homeopathic remedy halts the disease in its tracks, and soon the medical world takes notice. The Odone's oily concoction, dubbed Lorenzo's oil, is eventually prescribed to hundreds of children throughout the world.
The difference that Lorenzo's oil has made is a remarkable one. Roughly 2/3 of boys at risk for ALD will not develop ALD if they take the oil early enough.
Thanks to his family's incredible ingenuity, Lorenzo defies his initial prognosis and lives another 25 years before passing away in 2008 at the age of 30. And today, at the San Diego Museum of Natural History, this rapeseed plant stands as a testament to two extraordinary parents whose love for their son led to a groundbreaking advance in medical science.